8 a.m. Tuesday, the 30th of March, 2021. We welcome you now to The Legal Landscape, presented in partnership with our friends at DunnCox Attorneys at Law. We've been telling you all morning that today's topic promises to be really interesting. In fact, the topic is interesting and the discussion is going to be even more interesting. Vicarious liability for small businesses in 2021. Jamaican people, it is said, are so resourceful and so resilient in tough times. We really know how to turn we hand and make fashion. So it's no surprise that many of us have opened side businesses or supplement or regular income in the midst of this pandemic. We all know the entrepreneurship comes with its risks, though, but many do not know what vicarious liability is all about. And so to help us understand this topic, we're joined at this time by Danielle Reid, an associate attorney at law at DunnCox. Good morning, Ms. Reid. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad that you could join us. First of all, I want you, Ms. Reid, to explain the term vicarious liability in a business context, if you will.
Okay, sure. So this is simply where the employer is held liable for the wrongful acts of his or her employee. And that's even where the employer did not commit the act himself or herself. So I think the standard example that's used is where you get into a taxi and you have a driver there, and then you have, the actual owner. Should you get into an accident, you're likely to sue both the driver who you see and also the owner. The owner would be vicariously liable for any damages that you would seek. And that's even where the owner had no idea about the accident at all.
Got you. That makes it more understandable. Now, why is it important for small businesses and business owners, really, to learn about this topic?
Well, I think particularly in 2021 and also part of 2020, the restrictions have been placed on our movement. And as responsible citizens, we are trying not to leave our houses if we don't want to, if we don't have to. And lots of these businesses are trying to meet us where we are. So they're employing drivers and they're offering the service of delivery. I know lots of people do not leave their house if they do not have to. And we're in the age of the barrel, and lots of sales are determined by whether the person can come to their house and deliver these goods or the food. But with a lot of motor vehicles on the road right now, trying to execute a long list of deliveries in a timely manner, accidents are bound to happen, of course. So consumer goods could be damaged, or bearers might find themselves in serious traffic accidents, and small business owners may be at fault if it is shown that the drivers were authorized by the owners at that material time.
I just want to point out here, by the way, if listeners out there would like to participate by way of sending in a question, you can send a WhatsApp message to 876-383-1166 as we continue with Danielle. I can see employers out there now saying, what if I didn't authorize the negligent act of my employee?
Well, vicarious liability actually does not, it's actually a strict liability crime, which basically means that the liability of an employer does not depend on the employee's authority to do the particular act which constitutes the wrong. It is sufficient that the employee was authorized to do acts of the kind in question. So say you have your bearer making several deliveries all over Kingston, downtown, Halfway Tree, Barbican, wherever, and he's struggling to make these deadlines. And, of course, a curfew is at hand, and that's giving him serious difficulty. God forbid he decides to break a red light and he severely injures a passenger in another car. No, you didn't tell him to break the red light. You simply told him that he had to deliver the packages. In that instance, there is a reasonable likelihood that the business owner may also be found to be liable for the accident, even where he was simply in his office, minding his business in every sense of the word.
Really? I have to say that. Now, the next question is going to obviously be, so how can small businesses protect themselves?
Well, that depends entirely on, who you engage. Vicarious liability usually applies to employees who commit negligent acts while in the service of their employer. Generally speaking, an employer is not vicariously liable for the negligent acts of an independent contractor. So I believe that using independent contractors for delivery purposes could be a solution to this. If the business has to use employees, they have to employ their bearers, training them sufficiently so that they do not perform negligent acts may help.
So you're saying employ them as independent contractors?
Yes.
Really?
So I wouldn't say use the word employ. I would say contract independent contractors.
Okay. Even that has to be very, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding this very interesting, Danielle. Now, you said that a court will look at the work relationship. What will a court consider if I find myself sued because of the action of my employee?
Okay, well, a court will look at the overall nature of the relationship. Now, lots of businesses, well, I know some employers may think that I'll just name them an independent contractor and I'll just be absolved of liability. No, it doesn't work like that. The court will consider that you tell them where to go, when to go, how to go there, and based on the level of control, come to the conclusion that this is an employee. This is not an independent contractor in any sense. Mm-hmm. There are instances where employers like to, say that someone's an independent contractor and exercise control. But when this person goes to, say, NHT to look at their contributions, there's nothing there. And they're told that they're independent this whole time. Mm-hmm. So employers are not allowed to just escape by naming this person something else.
Okay. Where can persons get information, and who can they turn to, especially small businesses, if they want to get into such arrangements, and getting the services of independent contractors, having a legal document in hand kind of thing? Where would you suggest?
Well, I know here at the firm we have Mr. Leiber, who is very well versed in the area of labor law. Uh-huh. He could definitely, aid in drafting something that would protect a small business and also ensure that their rights, given to the employee or an independent contractor.
Okay, so they can make contact with our friends at DunnCox, and they'll get the advice that they require. All right, I found this very, very interesting. We looked this morning at vicarious liability for small businesses in 2021, and Danielle broke it down very well for us. Before you go, Danielle, do you have a did you know tidbit for us this morning?
Let me see.
She's
Did
thinking
you
about
know
it.
that if you lend your car to your friend, you could be held vicariously liable for any damages if they get into an accident?
On that note, we have to say thank you very, very much for the information you shared with us this morning on the legal landscape, and we wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you, and thank you.
All right, great having you. Danielle Reid, Associate Attorney at Law at DunnCox. This morning the subject was vicarious liability for small businesses in 2021. Join us again next Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. We'll have another program in the series, The Legal Landscape, for you right here on Top of the Morning on the Edge 105 FM.